I'm in Dubai right now, and this trip hasn't come out of my personal hard earnings. Instead, this is being paid for by my property businesses, and all at the same time while reducing my taxes. So I'm Harvey, a remote property investor, and it's not just this trip. Just this year already, it's only March while recording this, and I've been away 5 times to Holland, to Italy in the Alps, skiing, to Spain, and to New York, and now Dubai. And last year I went away 17 times, all while reducing my tax bill at the same time. In this video, I'll break down exactly how you will do this, and you'll learn how to reduce your tax bill while traveling, how you can legally plan trips for tax savings, and how business owners can use tax efficient spending instead of taking money out of their own pocket. So a simple way to explain this, picture this example. You're earning money into your limited company. For you to go traveling, you would have to then take money out of your limited company. But before you could do this, this is a tax man. So you have to take a portion of this money out for the tax man, and a portion of this money out goes to yourself, leaving you only this much revenue left to travel. Where if you do this from your limited company, we put all of this revenue back into the limited company. If you want to travel from the limited company, say this glass here with ice is your expenses. So you pay for your travel, and then you only pay tax with what is left out of this bit at 20% instead of 45% if you're a high rate taxpayer. So you only pay a little tiny proportion of that in tax, and you have still this money left, and you've used all this money for travel. And if you remember, when you paid yourself in personally, you only had this much to travel, so you had half the amount of money to travel. If you pay yourself personal, you pay more tax, and you've got less money left over if you do it in your personal name. So let's take what it looks like in actual real numbers. So let's say all of these have cost around £9,000. To get £9,000 worth of income out of my company, it means I would have to withdraw £15,517 as a salary before the 40% that's tax and national insurance. If I'd done this as a dividend, I'd have to withdraw £13,591 as a dividend before the 33.75% in tax, because when you draw a dividend, there's still tax within the company. So that means I'd pay between £4,500 to £6,500 in tax dependent. But since it was the company that paid for this expense, I didn't withdraw taxable income. That's the big difference. I spent this before any taxable income. And obviously you taxed in your company at a different rate as well, depending where you are. Could be 19%, could be 25%. But also when you do it like this, you reduce your company tax liability profits. So obviously if you withdraw it as salary, it does reduce your profits, but it increases what you pay in tax and other stuff like that. If you draw it down as a dividend, you're going to pay tax in the company also. So the best way is to spend money pre-tax if you can on expenses. So what I save in corporation tax is £2,550, and that's at 25% of £9,000. That is what I am on. So this traveling has saved me money in corporation tax, and it saved me drawing out a large amount of money from my company. And this shows it really, really well. So look, this is a dividend, pre-tax profits needed. I would have needed 18k as a salary, 17k as a business expenses. Pre-tax profits is 9k. Corporation tax paid, if it was a dividends, are still paying £4,530 as a salary. Corp's nothing, obviously. And then the total to the company would be 18, 17, and 9k. Again, these are the difference here. Personal tax paid, if I drew it out this way, would be £1,500. As a salary, it would be £6,517, including PAYE and national insurance. Obviously, in a business, it's zero. And that is the benefits of spending this money pre-taxed. And this is not the only thing you can do to reduce your tax bill. You can do things like cars, food. There's loads of expenses you can offset. And by doing this, I legally reduce my tax burden while also getting to keep more of my hard-earned money. So some of the questions you need to ask yourself next time you're traveling is, can I turn this into a business trip? If I can make it a full business trip like this was a mastermind, you can offset it all. Make sure you get accountant advice. I'm not an accountant, by the way, disclaimer. Also, can I offset part of that as a business trip? So could I take my family along with me and work at the same time? And if the answer is yes to any of those, you could possibly be able to offset this as a cost. As I said, always take advice from a legal professional for this sort of stuff. However, if you do not have a property business, you will not be able to use these expenses, and you want to know how to start up the most lowest barrier to entry of starting a property business, that is Deal Source, and make sure you watch this video here.